brake shoes, brake pads, drums, rollers, brake fluid, brake clean, brake hardware, a flush, and a shop fee. I wish there was a place I could take my car to that didn't cost me an arm and a leg.
Well, now there is. Welcome to GA Automotive and Tire, where you can get a brake job for only $199 on most vehicles. That's a complete brake job with brake pads and rotors resurfaced. Located at 4431 Luxinger Lane, Austin, Texas, 78745. For service and prices so good that you'd recommend your family, simply call GA Automotive and Tire. Just dial 512-444-7005. That's 512-444-7005. GA Automotive and Tire. Hey, this is Rob T.
Hey, this Big Will.
The week is almost through.
And there's a lot we've thought through.
And we just want to share it with you. Some of it may be motivational.
Some inspirational.
But it will always be sensational. So sit back
and relax
and check out What's on My Mind. Hello.
Come on, man. Oh,
What's
man.
up, everybody? This is Rob T.
It's Big Will.
And Melissa.
And you're listening to
What's on My Mind.
Okay, back up.
My bad.
Rob says you can't be louder than him.
No, it's not that.
Diva.
My
it
voice
Shiva?
is the loudest. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, no, he.
Shiva.
No.
Wow. Anyway, we are glad to have you guys back. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in to this past week's episode. We had my cousin Nikki Castro on, who shared her wonderful, amazing redemption story, and a lot of people have heard it, and I just want to say thank you. We will be bringing her back on the show along with her sister at a future date, and they're going to give us their story, their reunion story. Oh man, I can't wait to have them back on the show and let them tell that. That's going to be a real tearjerker, I'm sure. But we are back again this week. How you doing, honey?
I'm doing good. I can't complain.
Good. Will, how are you? I'm not calling you honey.
It's so inappropriate. You say, "How you doing, honey?" And you, guy in the corner, sit, boy. No, I'm doing great.
Awesome,
Actually, I got my car back.
Yay!
Thank you to GA Automotive and Repair.
There you go.
One of our
Nice.
sponsors who took care of me all the way through, and I'm
Awesome.
recommending them to all my friends and family.
Yeah,
There you go.
Just like the commercial
It's like
says.
the commercial.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome, man. That's really for the what was the original quote I had said? I can't even think. For the best deal today, call GA.
That's it.
Awesome. Well, we're back again another week, and today we have a very special guest with us. He's a good friend of the show, good friend of mine, good friend of me and my wife, him and his wife. And I wanted to bring him on the show because we got so many different things to talk about. This guy is just he's all over the place, and I don't mean that in a bad way at all.
Yeah, you do.
I mean,
The Renaissance man.
there you go. That's the word I'm looking for. He's a Renaissance man, that's for sure. And we're going to talk about all of it here today. So without any further ado, I want to introduce to everyone listening right now, this is Mr. Roger Garza. What's up, my brother?
What's up, man?
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great.
We are so glad that you are here today. I'm glad that you graced us with your presence. I was really looking forward to having you on the show just to talk, man. Got so much stuff to talk about. First thing I want to say is you are one of the coolest dudes that I can call my friend, man. All right, enough with the sentimental. Not just kidding.
Should we hug, bro?
Only 30 seconds. We can't pay the copyrights. Anyway, but man, I don't even know what we should get started with first. The one thing I do want to start with first is the thing that always, it'll come into my mind every time I see you for a brief moment that still blows my mind to this day, is that I actually met you many, 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 many years ago. And
20 years ago.
20 years ago, and I didn't even realize it until you said something.
Really?
Yeah, 20 years ago. You were how old?
I was going to be 13. I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so that just goes to show you guys I'm old.
How old were you there? Like 19, 20?
I was probably like about 21, 22.
Oh, you must have been a Rob T fan.
No. No.
I was about to end the podcast.
This was during the Judge Not days.
Oh, no, you're
Yeah,
2000s.
go ahead. You got to tell the story. It's actually a pretty cool story.
So when I first started going to church, I was real into music. I used to listen to like Metallica, Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots, all of that. And when I started going to church, I was super like depressed because everybody was like, "Oh, you gotta give your music up."
Right.
And I was like, "Dude, I don't want to listen to Chris Tomlin and Michael W. Smith and Natalie Grant or who was it?
Amy Grant.
Amy Grant.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, man."
Wow, how did he get that wrong? You know,
Natalie Grant's the daughter.
Yeah.
Is
But,
she?
Yeah, Natalie Grant.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know she had a daughter.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she's current now. She's on K-Love.
I like Natalie Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but so my youth pastor at that time gave me a CD, and it was the band Pillar,
Oh yeah.
and it was the first Christian rock band I had ever heard. And I was like, dude, this is legit. Like, this is gonna like slowly take the place of a lot of the music I'm listening to.
Right.
Well, the other part of that was I used to like going to concerts,
Yep.
and at that time, Christian music and Christian concerts weren't, as available as they are now, I guess.
Right.
So there was this place called the Catacombs, and
I love the Catacombs.
yeah, man, y'all guys were playing there, and I had actually went there to see. I think it was Disciple. I think y'all opened up for like Disciple or
Right.
Naos Project.
Naos Project.
The Naos Project, and yeah, y'all played, man, and I saw y'all, and you were a youngin, and
I was.
Y'all didn't sound anything like y'all sound now.
No, that's back when we were doing more of the rap hip.
Yeah.
You hear that relent? I did it first. No, I'm just kidding.
You hear that, Miggy?
Yeah, Miggy.
But you know what was cool is the other day, so I mean, you know that I have a studio at my house.
Yes.
And I was cleaning up some stuff.
Right.
And I sent you the picture. I
Right.
found the CD that I bought that night.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was pretty cool, man. And I got the chance to listen to it. It's yeah.
I'm sorry.
Way different. It was good. It was good. It was good, man.
Yeah. No, we wrote some good tunes back then. And you're right. It's definitely not the same now. But to be fair, this time in Judge Not, I didn't want to play that role anymore. I just wanted to be kind of in the back. So now being the guitarist, I'm a little more in the front, but I still don't want to be the guy that's
You were
doing the
playing
singing.
keyboards and rapping, right?
Yeah, I was playing keyboards and I was doing backup vocals and then doing the rapping stuff when we did that. Yeah, so, but yeah, that was a long time. Those Catacombs days were something else, man. I wish, Melissa, you would have liked the Catacombs a lot.
Catacombs was legit.
I feel like I went like maybe once before it closed.
No,
No?
no, because
Wow.
What am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Straight up no on that.
Well,
No,
no, because
you're mistaken.
because when it closed, I was still in my first marriage.
Are you sure?
Yeah, pretty sure.
It closed in 2006, I believe, or
Yeah.
7.
It wasn't 7 because we got married in 2007.
Yeah, so it's 2006.
Yeah. So anyway, but there's one band that always sticks out in my head from the Catacombs days. What, you think I'm wrong?
No, go ahead.
From the
No, dear.
You're absolutely
You're
right.
absolutely right. That's what I do with my wife, right? It doesn't matter.
There's one band that always stuck out in my head because back in those days, for me, when I would listen to hard rock and metal, right? And I'm talking about not Christian, of course. I was listening to like Motley Crue, and I was listening to more like hard rock stuff, like Whitesnake and Poison, some Metallica, Judas Priest, and things like that. So my cousin used to listen to the more hardcore stuff, like Venom and Merciful Fate and some of those bands that were like a little harder metal, and then even some of the death metal stuff. And I never forget when he first showed me a death metal, I literally thought the devil was entering in the room. Like it was that intense. So
Wow.
going to the Catacombs, right? This band comes up, and I don't know if you might remember them when I say the name. You might not. I don't know, but they were called Citrus. Do you remember that band?
I think I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that is an interesting name for a band, Citrus. And I do remember it was an acronym, like it meant something, every letter, but I don't remember what it meant. And they started playing, and they were just like, it was just like chun, 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 chun. Then all of a sudden, this little skinny Mexican guy grabs the mic and starts going, and
remember them. Yeah.
and I was like, what is
I
happening
remember
right now? So that was when I was first introduced to a Christian type of like
Metal.
death metal kind of
Yeah.
thing. So yeah, that was interesting for me. But I saw a lot of great bands back then. That was when I first met Jose, who's our guitarist now. He was in a band called Steel Angel. They were kind of like the Christian version of Iron Maiden.
Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, him and Jerry were the guitarists. That's where I first met them and stuff. So those were some awesome days,
The other
man.
band that I saw there a lot was Axiom.
Rolling Gloria. Yeah,
Y'all played together.
yeah. Oh, quite a bit. We've shared many a stage together with Rolling Gloria. And I won- No, I'm just kidding.
You hear that, Roland?
Sounds like someone's taking shots.
And he cut his hair
Twitter war.
recently. I don't know if you saw that.
Did he?
He cut
He's
his
like
hair.
known for his hair.
Yeah.
He
cut
is
it.
his hair.
He cut his hair.
I've been off of Facebook, dude. So I
Yeah,
feel so out of
he
the loop
cut
and
his
everything.
hair, bro.
Wow.
I've been trying to really
Like,
limit my
it's-
Facebook time, but I just happened
short.
to. Okay, that's it. I'm pulling it up.
She's gonna show you, but it's short. So anyway, since we're talking about music, we'll start there.
Okay.
For those that don't know, you are the lead singer of the. Let's just say it. They're a metalcore band. You guys are a metalcore band,
Yeah.
but y'all call it praisecore. But Becoming Sons.
Yeah.
And awesome band. You guys are awesome musicians. You're a great singer, by the way.
Thank you.
I did not know you had that in you. I will say that I was pleasantly impressed and surprised because when I met you again, he's now
He's,
seeing
like, working on computers.
he's now seeing the picture of Rolling Glory, by the way. Anyway,
He's Jim from IT.
Yeah.
So-
he looks younger though.
he
He
does.
does, yeah.
Roland,
It's weird
I
how
like
it
him,
does
man.
that, you know?
Yeah.
So,
That's cool.
so when I first met you again, we met at the Catalyst.
Yeah.
And that night you opened up things by singing a praise song or something like that on the acoustic, right?
Oh, I did.
You did,
Yeah,
and
we
you
had a cancellation.
yeah, and then you gave the story about how you heard Judge Not the first time and stuff like that. So then when I find out you joined Becoming Sons, I was like, oh, cool, right? And so I'll be honest, I'm like, are they gonna go away from the growls and stuff? Like I didn't know, but then when I heard it the first time, I was like, what? Man, this guy's legit. So yeah, dude, kudos, man. You are definitely a great addition to that band.
Thank you.
I love the vocals. I love your singing style. Yeah, man. I love Becoming Sons music. I loved it before, right? But this new stuff that I've heard you guys do since then, it definitely upped the game.
Yeah, man.
So-
We're doing a lot.
Awesome.
A lot more as of recently, and we just completed our pack by adding another guitarist. I can't say who yet because
Right,
we're doing
right.
a big press release on it.
Ooh.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty exciting. But
It's me,
music-
y'all. It's me. I'm gonna go ahead and say, no, I was kidding.
Just kidding, it's me.
The music. Background vocals right there.
I mean, that'd be super awesome, and then I could like learn to play guitar.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But the new addition that we have is really gonna allow the music to finally be glued together because like me, Roger Stack, Brian Derby, and Chris, we just all have such different motivations. You know what I mean?
I gotcha. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Me, I listen to a lot of Emery, King's Kaleidoscope, Local Sound. Those are probably bands that not a whole bunch of people listen to, right?
Yeah, I don't even know who they are.
Yeah. But like, Chris is more Metallica and stuff like that. And
Right.
You can really tell in his playing. And
Right.
Brian's a little bit more classic, and Roger's a little bit more of that death metal, metalcore.
Yeah.
So this guitarist that we're adding, he's really gonna be the glue to kind of bring it all together, and I'm super excited about it.
That's awesome. And now have you written some more tunes since
Yeah,
then?
we got like 3 or 4. So
Awesome,
Nice.
awesome. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. 2020 has definitely made me miss performing, and it's not even about performing. I miss the camaraderie when we did Sound
Yeah.
for the Crown last year and everything. Man, it was just such an awesome time doing that with all of us together. I was just ready to do some more, and then
Yeah.
COVID comes up and knocks
because
that.
COVID hit right at Sound for
Yes,
the Crown. Remember,
yeah.
it affected the attendance.
Some of the people
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
show up because of that. Yeah,
Dude.
That was
Yeah.
right when everything was closing.
March 12th.
Yeah.
I should have jumped in on Bitcoin then. I'd be a millionaire.
Yeah, so that's why I'm definitely looking forward to this year. It seems like they're starting to open things up now. Big shock. I'm not going to get into that.
You can if you want.
That's another show. But so I'm looking forward to this year's Sound for the Crown, man.
Who isn't?
Yeah,
Who isn't, though?
It's a great lineup. And you, of course, are at the helm of this thing.
Yeah.
You're in a sense, you're kind of driving the ship. I mean, I know there's a group of us that are doing this with you, but really, you're the dude steering this thing, man. I'm surprised you haven't pulled your hair out yet.
I have. I got patches in my beard where I'm like this, like for real. I ain't even kidding.
So
Came into the beard toupee.
right.
I'm
So
at
here
the-
we
There you
are.
go. That's
Here
your
we
next
are
invention.
at the end of January, right? So we're talking just a couple of months away. So
No, 42 days, dude.
see, he doesn't even count.
Yeah.
42 days. So wow, 42 days. We need to practice.
That became a reality real quick for Rob.
That became a reality real fast. Anyway, what's the update as of right now?
So as of right now, the biggest thing that was kind of a bummer was the Cypher Down. Unfortunately, we couldn't afford them. And reason being is we had 8 commitments from sponsors. And then we had one come in at the last minute and was like, dude, like, I want to be a part of this, blah, blah, blah. He was owner of a car dealership. And he was just like, well, what can I do? And I said, well, the Cypher Down is this amount of money. I would love for you to just cover that. He says, if you can cover it, I'll book him right now, and then we can run with it.
Right.
So he's like, yeah, let's do it. So I book him, and probably less than 48 hours later, he calls me and says, hey, how much did you say that was again? And I told him. He was like, yeah, I can't do that after all. So I was like, oh, dude. So
What kind of car lot was that? I mean, really?
dude, they sell Ferraris and stuff there.
He's
And I'm
lying.
like,
He's being frugal. You should call me on that next time. I'll get you the deal.
Hey, we still need sponsors, dude.
Yeah, I used to work for a GM dealer for almost 12 years.
I still need sponsors, dude. What are you waiting for?
Let's talk. We'll talk after the show.
So anyways, yeah, so he pulled out, and then I prayed on it for a few days, and I was just like, you know what, like, I know I'm putting a lot of my own money into this to make it happen, just because I feel like, man, the word of God needs to be spoken, the band's
Right.
need to be
Right.
supported, and we need positivity in 2021, not all this negative junk.
Right.
So I said, but I can't put more than what I'm putting in. So unfortunately, we had to part ways. However, the idea of the
Is
live
Daisy
stream-
messing with you? I'm sorry.
slapping me with her toe. She's doing it on
She
purpose.
does that.
Daisy.
But she every time you say her name, I'm like, my wife. My wife's name is Daisy.
Daisy, stop slapping him with your tail.
Look, she did it on purpose. But anyways, so the live stream idea came, and as you know, I'm a graphic designer, and I
Right.
do all that stuff on the side. But I said, you know what, man, let's put a legit live stream together. And I think what this is going to do is enable us to reach more people and get the show and the festival in front of more people. And this will prepare us for next year.
Right,
You
right.
know, for 2022.
Yeah.
And now people are going to hear the name Sound for the Crown more and more just because of the live stream.
Right.
And then when we did that, man, it truly started to take off. Like,
Nice.
A lot more people are reaching out and donating and stuff
Awesome.
like that because I'm not just, marketing to a target area of
Right.
South Texas.
Right.
So it's been good, man. It's been
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I know I'm really looking forward to it. Is there a particular band that's going to be, I mean, so you're on this side of things putting it together and everything, but as a fan, as a music fan, is there a particular band you're looking forward to really
Dude, Coming
seeing for?
Sons, like their singer is amazing.
Are you sure? Because I heard otherwise.
I second that notion. I second that.
No, as far
Just
as the
kidding.
bands, Ignition out of Chicago.
Yeah.
Man, she's really cool. I can't remember her name off the top of my head right now on the spot, but I follow her on Facebook. Her
Wow.
their lead singer, and I wish I could remember. But they're really good. Zana is from San Antonio.
Right.
I've seen her. Susie Matson and her husband Patrick. They're amazing people. Of course, Roland. Y'all guys and Judge Not. I mean, we haven't
Don't
played
lie.
anything
Don't
since
lie.
last year.
Don't lie.
March.
Don't lie.
He's so nice.
March 13th.
I think y'all are. I think. Don't get me wrong. I know you like Judge Not, but I think y'all are really more because you guys haven't seen me play the guitar with Judge Not,
And I
and you
think that
kind of
is-
want to see
yes.
how that.
I think
Yeah,
that is.
that's kind of what I was telling that to I think it was to Gabriel, our new drummer.
Yeah.
I was like, I think the guys that we hang with, they're more looking forward to seeing how's it gonna sound now that Rob is on guitar and there's a different drummer because different musicians are gonna bring a different vibe.
And I think you're going to bring a little bit more energy.
Yeah,
What
for
I'm
sure.
expecting.
For
Yeah.
sure.
But I think the one that I'm super excited here, there's two. Stop the Sun.
Oh yeah.
You and Jaron.
Yeah.
Just the stuff that
Yeah.
I've heard.
That's a huge change.
Yeah.
That's a big change.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
And then there's another band, Forever Alive.
Mm.
And I wish I could tell the whole story now about those guys. But those guys are another band to watch out for.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be. I know it's gonna be a great event, and I know we're really looking forward to it. You touched on this, and I kind of want to get into this. and I think this is where I know Melissa's probably going to get in on this discussion too. But the one
me
thing,
too.
the one thing I've been noticing since I've been getting to know you more, especially when which we're going to get into later. You have a podcast now that I do want to get into later. But I was a guest on your podcast last week or week before. No, week before. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. And getting to talk to you more without the craziness of what we do musically, we actually got to talk, right? And I love that, by the way. But I got to get to know you a little bit more, and we made the comment earlier about you being a Renaissance man, and that's a true statement. And what I want to know is, how the hell did you get into it? I mean, it seems like there's just so many things that you have your hands in, you know.
No, so first off, so you say Renaissance man. We're getting into that.
Yeah, for sure.
What all do you have? What all projects do you have going on right now? Just to give an idea of how much, you're multi-talent.
So I play in Becoming Sons.
Right.
I lead worship at various places. I haven't done it in a while just because, like we were discussing earlier, I kind of took a sabbatical from church for a little bit.
Right.
Just kind of clear my mind and get my head on straight. But I did do that. I own Blue Orchid Design Company, best graphic design company in the world.
And one of our sponsors.
Go to goorchid.com. So I do that. That keeps me busy. I'm a stay-at-home dad, work-from-home dad. I homeschool my kids.
Wow.
My 9-year-old is almost a professional level golfer. So I'm also his golf coach. Sound for the Crown I'm doing. I'm running a management company called For the King Music Group, helping bands book shows. What did I miss? I'm sure I missed something.
Apparently you're an investor too, or
I do a lot of cryptocurrency investing.
Right.
And as of recently, I started doing a lot of advising. But the biggest thing, and the podcast, of course, that I started the Average Dude podcast. The biggest thing is I guess a lot of people have started to notice that I do a lot.
Right.
And the biggest thing that I'm doing now is kind of counseling.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude, because like my DMs, like if I was to show you my DMs, every day it's at least 1 or 2 people asking like various stuff.
Right.
Yeah, like it's just like I had one today that was marriage related, and then I had one right before I got here that was crypto related.
Wow.
Like, hey, I'm thinking about buying crypto. You think I should buy it right now? And I was like, well, it's on a downward trend. Probably not. Wait a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Advising.
Yeah. So it's kind of gotten to the point where like I've been able to really counsel people more than anything right now.
So when we were doing the podcast, the first thing you said was that the most important thing to you is, of course, your marriage.
Yeah.
How are you balancing all that, man? Because that's a lot.
No, I mean, in all seriousness, there's no way of balancing it all. I mean, what you do is you just wait for the next thing to start falling, and then you work hard on keeping that lifted up. You know
Hey,
what I mean?
dude, that's real though. That's true.
Because so many people are like, "Oh, I do this, I do that." I mean, me, I'm a big planner.
Right.
I like to plan my day out. I sit down, have my coffee, write my tasks for the day, and
Right.
knock them out with the smallest one to the biggest one.
Yeah.
But when I see like, hey, I'm struggling with the kids or something like that, like, all right, well, let me focus on this for a second. Stop doing this for a little bit.
Right.
One of the other things I do is I teach a class online too, and like that I've been neglecting the heck out of.
Right. Right.
So now my focus is starting to steer on that, and cleaning that up. And starting to contact more of my students and stuff like that. But it's been.
Yeah, because I mean, like even with like me and Melissa, we've been married for 13 years. We don't have kids. And yet life gets busy for us. Like we joke about it all the time that we're gonna have to start scheduling our intimate times because it's like
true,
so, are you doing anything on Wednesday evening? It's like seriously, because it's like there's not enough time in the day.
Yeah, right.
And you would think it would be more because right now both of us, well, for the most part we work at home. She goes to the office 2 times a week, and I haven't been to the office in about a month and a half now because of this whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
But even then, she's busy working, I'm busy working, and stuff like that. Still, even at home with work, there's still not, I mean, I'm glad we get to see each other a lot more. But, it can be very challenging. So I can imagine with kids, man.
Well, the biggest thing for me in like marriage is the most important thing. Like we said on my show, it's the most important thing to me. So I always have the mindset that my wife is before everything,
right?
Because when the kids are grown and out of the house, like she's still gonna be there.
Exactly.
So a lot of people are like, "Oh, we gotta focus on the children. Focus on the children." It's like, no, you need to focus on making this marriage work and everything, so you don't kill each other and you can, fulfill your vows and live forever,
right?
Together. But it's it's to the point where, like, you know, I was working a job that was killing me. I was working in the transportation industry, and I was working at a fish place, and that place is so high speed and everything. And
Right.
I was in Dallas and in Houston because I was, you know, basically the director of transportation there.
Right.
And it got to the point where it was affecting my marriage so much that I just quit.
Wow.
Peace. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I got other things I can do to make money. I need to focus on this, and I
Yeah.
took a massive pay cut.
Yeah.
You know, to do that. But I mean, if it was affecting my marriage, then
And that's the kind of thing, man. It can get challenging.
Yeah.
You know, you've been very open about this too. You know, and the reason I'm talking about this is because I know me. I've had those thoughts before, like, man, this job, I don't know this, or, you know, how are things at home, and not only that, but your own mental health as well and stuff like that. But those decisions can be difficult to make too when you're thinking about, yeah, but this is an income coming in, and it's very hard to balance those things. That's just another thing that as a husband, you know, I know I think about. You know, the last job I had before the one I have now, I had days, man, when I was just like, I want to quit so bad, but I was more scared of quitting because of the loss of income than my mental health at times. And so I wouldn't say anything. I would just kind of grin and bear it kind of thing, you know. But yeah, because for me, my most important thing as well is my wife, you know, and I try to make it that way daily. I know I fail a lot of times, but I really try. And she's like, yeah, you do, right?
No.
But yeah, man, I totally understand that. So having all these things that you're doing and everything, yet you're still looking for more?
of course. Yeah, dude.
What's your motivation?
Well, I mean, my family, number one, is my motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And because the way I grew up in a broken home, you know what I mean? Like, my parents weren't together and everything. My mom worked 2 jobs to buy her house, and, you know, she busted her butt to give everything that we had.
Right.
And seeing all that, I told myself that, dude, I'm not going to let that happen. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to work my fingers to the bone and do everything so I want my kids don't have to live like that.
Right, right.
Having to go between homes on the weekends and stuff like that, like, dude, that was detrimental to me growing up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I believe that helped me see, like, hey, like, this is what I don't want for my kids.
Right.
I'm going to work my hardest in my marriage and through all the things that I'm going through to not allow that to happen.
Yeah.
So I really pushed hard for that. And just like I was talking to somebody day before yesterday, they're asking, like, man, Roger, like, you're starting to travel a lot. Like, why are you doing? Like, we went to Niagara Falls. We went to took the kids to Disney World. We just came back from Colorado. We went to New Mexico. You know, we've been going to all these places.
Right.
I even took the family on one of the tours that we did up to Arkansas with Becoming Sons, and it's just like, why do you want to move around so much? I was like, dude, because I didn't get to do that as a kid. You know, I didn't leave the state for the first time until like my late teens.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so I mean, just really pushing for that to give them everything that I didn't have.
Well, you're making memories too, man, for your kids. You know, I mean, I think that's that's one thing I definitely admire about you. I wish I had the brain that you have, that I could say quit my job and start something here and still make a good income and do this and that. I just don't, you know, and everything. But one day.
But don't get me wrong. Like yeah, it looks like it's that easy. But I mean,
it's not.
Like when we started the CBD company, right?
Right.
Like, I'm the type of person that I always look at the risk versus reward, and I do ROIs, and I'm very business savvy.
Yeah, that's like Will.
So when I looked at the CBD company, I was just like, hey, you know, the ROI on this, like the amount of money we're putting into it, like we're gonna be able to make this amount back.
Right.
When it started showing trends that wasn't gonna happen, you know, like, hey, you gotta kill it.
Yeah.
And that hurts your mentality and like, hey, your motivation and stuff. But then you just kind of move on to the next thing, and though it seems like, oh yeah, this dude got it together. I mean, it's not always like that. There's days where you're like, oh my God, slamming your head against the ground.
Right.
And it's a lot of work too. I mean, it sounds like you're stretched so thin because you have so many, you know, everything needs all of your attention pretty much, and you have to.
And then there's times where like my wife will come in on me and I'll respond to her in a poor way, right? Like, what do you need? You know what I mean? She's like, oh, what did I do? And I'm like, oh, you just don't understand. Like, I'm doing this. I know it looks like I'm just sitting in front of a computer, but like, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's difficult to balance, and I'm not nowhere near perfect at doing it.
Right.
I struggle. But I mean, it's worth doing, especially because I'm able to do things with my family.
Of course,
and
of
take
course.
my kids out, and we're able to, invest into our future and stuff
Right.
like that. So I mean, it's good.
Well, that's good. That's good. So when do you think it'll be enough? Like, I'm not going to try this project. I'm not going to try that project. Is there like a goal that you're trying to get to?
I'm turning away ideas and stuff like that now. Like I kind of said when you were on my show.
Yeah.
We're considering opening a brick and mortar business.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying that.
And the only reason why I want to do that is because I want something physical that I can hand to my kids and be like, hey, if you want to continue doing this, then go do
Right.
it. So my littlest one, he's 5 years old. My 9-year-old's like, dude, I want to be a PGA golfer, and like this is what I want to do. And if I don't do that, I want to be a geologist, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, those are cool things. Focus on the golf so you can get a scholarship and become a geologist.
Right.
Right. So I'm kind of pushing him a little. But my little one goes, Dad, I want to be a pizza chef. I'm like, what? He's like, I just want to make pizzas all day and eat them. Like, that's all I want to do. I'm like, oh man. But I think about it. It's like, how do I, enable him to pursue that?
Right.
And kind of, I don't want him to focus on that. Of course, it's going to change in the future.
Of course.
Like my oldest one's wanted to be a golfer since he was 3. So it was kind of like, all right, well, let's have to focus on that. But my little one is just like, hey, how can we motivate him? So we're like, man, do we open up a little restaurant and stuff like that? Just kind of motivate him. If it doesn't work, then so be it. As long as we don't lose money. But
Right.
That's really the thought process in it all.
Yeah.
But as of now, like I've had people already approach me and say, hey, Roger, let's do this. Or, with me doing the music festival, there's people throughout the country that are like, hey, we see how you're doing this. If we provide the capital, the funds, can you do all of that here? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Wow.
You're halfway across the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way, dude.
Yeah.
So it's been to the point already where I'm saying no to a lot of things.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. Yeah, it's crazy because like I don't have that kind of mentality. Like I got talents, right? Because I can't tell you how many. She'll tell you how many people have been like, dude, you need to have a food truck, or you need to have a restaurant.
Yeah.
Because dude, your cooking is awesome. Your barbecue is awesome. Everybody wants me to make my noodle and sell it. I mean, I get
that was
this.
good maneuver, yo.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that was good maneuver.
It is.
I get that all the time, and it's just like, but I don't have that. I'm not saying I'm stupid. I want to make that clear now. I just don't have that thought process of putting this business together.
Yeah.
It has to probably be one of those things where I maybe have to find a partner or something like that to be willing to do it, because I'm just not. You know what I mean? Like that part's difficult for me.
I started studying business, and we were talking about marriage the last
Yeah,
time. I was like,
yeah.
I started, planning my marriage when I was 8.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
still freaks me out.
Well, I started learning about business when I was 12.
Wow.
Yeah, it's because I was at school and
Wait, what kind of business?
I was at school and I used to collect trading cards, right? Pokemon cards and
Right.
baseball and basketball cards. And this kid came up to me and was like, "Hey man, I see you got this card." And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "I'll give you $20 for it." And I was just like, "Yeah, let's do this." You know what I mean? So I went home with $20 and my mom thought I stole it and everything. I was like, no. So the next day I went and I started telling people like, "Hey, they're for sale." You know what I mean? And in 1 week, as a 12-year-old, I made $100
Nice.
off of selling cards.
Right.
And that's when I really started to
Nice.
the entrepreneur bug kind of
Yeah.
hit me. And since then, I formed my own company at 12 years old. It's called Royal Trading Cards.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah, and then at 14, I started a skateboarding company called Project 832.
Oh, wow.
And then at 18, Project 832 turned into an automotive company, and we started building race cars.
Wow.
So I was building race cars, Project 832 Motorsports.
Nice.
So it all just kind of escalated, and it was fun. But at 19 was when I met my wife, and I was like, yeah, I can't.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
if I'm gonna focus, here's my initial plan at 8 years old was to be married and have a solid marriage.
Right.
If I'm gonna focus on that, I can't do any of this right now.
Right,
So
right,
I
right.
shut down the automotive company. I stopped everything I was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to focus on building a marriage and everything, and it turned out great.
Yeah, man, you got a beautiful family. I'll definitely say that.
I appreciate
So I think it's time to take a break. So we're going to take a quick little break, and we'll be right back with Roger Garza.
There was a time when a man could walk into a barbershop, sit back and relax and escape the cares of the day, while a skilled craftsman turned his look from mountain man to classy gentleman. Well, neighbor, that time is now at Hanley's Good Time and Barbershop. At Hanley's, they specialize in men's haircuts, including beard trims and classic straight razor shaves. They won't forget that hot towel either. You can schedule an appointment on their website at hanleysbarbershop.com. That's HANLEYS barbershop.com. Located in San Marcos, Texas at 322 West Hopkins between Selleck's and Gumby's Pizza, right in the old Thomas house. When you get there, talk to old Dal and let him know the boys at What's On My Mind podcast sent you, and you'll get a complimentary cold one or shot of whiskey. Hanley's Good Time and Barbershop, where good times meet good vibes.
You know, starting a business can be very challenging. Man, starting anything can be challenging, even a podcast. When we started our podcast, we had a lot of hurdles we had to go through. But I tell you what, Will and I are so thankful to have an awesome team of people helping us along the way. And one of those people, well, actually one of part of the team, is Blue Orchid Design Company. They helped us out with an awesome logo, and you guys have seen it every week when you listen to our podcast. They do web design, graphic design, esports logos, business logo creation, product mock-ups, and business consultation. You got to contact them today. For more information, go to goorchid.com. You can also find them on Facebook at facebook.com/Blue Orchid Design Company. This is the team that Big Will and Rob T trust. Give them a call today. Are you looking for your own custom shirt design? Maybe you have an idea for an awesome cap that no one else has, and maybe you think you just don't have enough money to get it to happen? Well, look no further. Call CJ Design. That's right, we're talking custom shirts, caps, stickers, and decals. High quality at the low price guarantee. Maybe you have a youth group, church function, family reunions, work events. Doesn't matter. Call CJ Design for your own specific high-quality design merchandise. Call or text at 737-202-8331. That's 737-202-8331. CJ Design, and make sure you ask for Juan. And we're back.
Wait.
Wait for
Oh,
it.
wait
for
a minute.
it.
That didn't happen.
Are we though?
Wait, are we back though?
Are we back? Just put it 6th time.
No, okay, we're back. Okay, we're back.
Are we-
All right, we're going into
This is happening. Okay.
Yeah, this is happening.
It's live, lady.
We're going into our second segment, and as you know, this segment is sponsored by our friends at Silver Spoon Dinner Theater, located at 6700 North Interstate 35 in Braunfels, Texas, 78130. For more information, go to silverspoon.com, SYLVER spoon.com, and you can also give them a call at 210, and my eyes are going bad, 865-3711. That's 210-865-3711. You can also find them on Facebook for more information. Reach out to them. Great food, great entertainment. That is definitely the place you want to go. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is coming up really soon. So all of you husbands out there, boyfriends, whatever you want to call it, this is a place you got to take your date. Trust me, they will make it special, and they will make it fun for sure.
Make sure
And you will
reserve.
score.
Yeah. What she said, that comes from the wife.
So we know what happens when Rob goes there.
So, yes. So there you go. You want to score? Silver Spoon Dinner Theater.
Wow.
Awesome. And we've
That's
been
a pitch if I never heard
I know,
of
right?
myself.
That one's gonna get everybody there. Anyway,
You're gonna what?
so we've been talking with Roger Garza, lead singer of Becoming Sons, also entrepreneur, golf coach extraordinaire, and we've been having a really, really great conversation. And Melissa, do you have a question?
Yeah, so we touched on pretty much everything you're doing right now, but I want to know more about this podcast you have going on. Can you tell us a bit about that?
So the Average Dude podcast. What?
She just wants to know because she wanted to know why I was out so late that time.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. What are you doing to my husband?
If you could be a fly on the wall. In that, oh my God, that was a good time. But the Average Dude podcast, it was actually born in 2019. I started thinking about like, hey man, like I know how to do graphic design, I do marketing, I know business, I do public speaking too. I forgot to add that. You know, all of these things. Like if I was to take each trait or characteristic of you know who I am and say, hey, what could I mold this into? Like starting a podcast made a lot of sense. You know, it's like, hey, it gives me something to market. You know, there's low overhead, blah blah blah. So I really started thinking about it. And then that's whenever I discovered that you had yours.
Right.
Yeah, and I was just like, you know what? I was like, let me learn a little bit more and kind of see how this works, and then I'll consider starting it. So in San Antonio, we have something called Startup Week, and I was a part of this community called Geekdom, and they're really involved in it. And I took a few classes on how to do a podcast and everything like that. And the best way to market and stuff like that. And I was just like, man, this seems really cool. This seems up my alley and everything. And then what was really crazy was like a couple of days after I did that, you reached out to me about making the logo.
Right.
So I was just like, oh, cool. I was like, yeah, let me make the logo. I was like, this would be a good way for me to kind of learn, you know, what a podcast is exactly and how to do it and everything. So when I made that logo, I was like, man, this is fun. And then I started toying with names for my own and stuff like that. So that's kind of how the idea was formed. But then what really kind of shoved me through the door to like finally make it happen was the counseling stuff that I had been doing.
Right.
Because the name Average Dude was like one amongst many things that I had wanted to do. Like I was wanting to do like maybe a political show because my political stances are kind of not the norm. You know, music show or something like that.
Right.
But the more and more I was talking to people, I was like, the more and more it was, you know, finally coming to the realization that people don't really care about a lot of that stuff anymore. They just they're more focused on the little things that are important to them. You know, like their marriages and well, not that that's a little thing, but their marriages, you know, their kids.
Things more closer to them.
Yeah, exactly. So as I was counseling and helping these people, I was just like, dude, I should turn the show into this. And then I looked through my list of names and I was like that kind of sounds cool. And I built a logo for it. And
cool logo, by the way.
Yeah, I showed it to a few people and my son, you want to know what he said when he first saw it? He says, "Oh, Dad, that's cool. Is that Rob?"
Wow.
So I was
that's
like,
kind of cool.
That's cool, yeah. And I was like, no, and then my wife knew right away that it was me.
Yeah.
But my son, the first thing he said was, is that Rob?
That is so funny.
That's funny, dude. But yeah, so we started doing that. Rob was you're the first guest.
That was, and I don't say this just, I'm not trying to blow smoke up your butt at all. I was really honored that you asked me to be your first guest.
Man, like I couldn't imagine anybody like, you know, else to be the first guest.
I appreciate that.
I mean, you having the podcast, of course, me kind of supporting you for supporting me and vice versa.
Right.
And then, you know, and just.
Yeah, Will's here too.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
I thought you were going to ask a question.
I am gonna ask a
He's
question.
raising his hand to ask a question.
Go for it, man.
How come I wasn't invited?
Because you're Mexican.
More than likely, that's what it is. It's because I'm bald headed.
Well, you're Mexican, dude?
Sometimes. Only on the weekends.
Depends on who you ask.
So does Average Dude have a certain theme, or is it pretty much anything that has to do with dudes?
Well,
What about sub-average dudes or above-average dudes?
well, the first thing that everybody critiqued me on was
Intro.
and it was how do I say it? They were like, Roger, like you're anything but average.
Oh, I got you.
Like they were like this doesn't like what are you gonna talk about? And I was like, I want to talk about the things that are important, you know, like so was marriage. The second one with my wife was why can't you choose what to eat? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that one, man, a lot of people were messaging me and you know, hey, that's funny, and but answering that question was kind of like, dude, like that's an average question, like
Right.
It is.
And then our show that's coming out this Friday is why can't I catch a damn fish? So I mean, it's kind of
I
centered
am listening to that one for sure.
So you know, we had a good friend of mine, Oscar Castillo, come out and he's gave me tips and we talked about his organization, what they did and what they do, and you know, it's kind of streamlined on that. You know, we're gonna be doing a home brewing show soon.
Cool.
On brewing your own beer. Yeah.
Interesting there.
Yeah. We're gonna do this show with my wife. The next time she comes on here is why me and my wife both believe that Valentine's Day is a scam.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
And it is, by the way.
It is.
It's a total scam. But yeah, so we don't have like a general theme. However, like we don't want to talk about the things of right now, right? Like there's so many people talking about COVID. You know, like it's to the point
Or
where,
politics.
Yeah,
politics,
there's enough
or-
of that
like,
everywhere.
dude,
You just want to escape
and
and
every time you talk about it, like you don't leave happier than when you
Yes.
started. You
Right.
leave slightly frustrated or like, hey,
Bummed out,
I
yeah.
don't agree or something like that. And
Yeah.
so just the stuff that we're talking about, it's kind of like, man, like let's just talk about average problems with average dudes and
Yeah.
go from there. So
Yeah.
I'm not even a dude and I want to listen to it.
So
It's for the she dude.
and you know what? What's crazy is I saw our analytics. Like I'm a big analytics dude, and our listeners, a huge majority are women, and I was like, I didn't expect that.
Right.
So now it's kind of
So you realize a bunch of chicks, a bunch of women, a bunch of females heard you talking about flicking the bean, bro.
and you know what's crazy? Is
Which,
that,
by the way, doesn't sound very pleasant.
did you watch the show?
I didn't see the whole thing. No,
Oh.
I saw that clip though, and I heard about the conversation.
A 65-year-old man told me like
That is
that's the
hilarious.
secret to marriage.
I was nervous about her listening to that episode because when I left that day, we were both like, "Did you say anything to Melissa?" I don't think I did.
Well, when my wife on her show
Yeah.
said that,
Yeah.
that you had said that, I was like, what the heck? I was like, you really said that? She was just like, oh my god, dude. But yeah, it's been fun. What was really cool was when I introduced the show, I thought I was in a struggle to find people to come on.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have 3 months worth of shows already booked, and like for me, like I was like, coming at it at the point of view that I was coming at it. I'm trying my hardest not to make it a Christian show.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But at the same time, like I want people to leave and know that I'm not, negative or this isn't a secular show. That hey, I am a Christian and I'm trying to bring good things that can be used for you to better your life and stuff like that. But as I did that, when people started volunteering to come on the show, I was like, man, I believe that was a total God thing.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, hey, this is a building blocks of something that can be even bigger in the future. So I mean, it's been fun. I mean,
Yeah, for me, that was one of the difficult things about doing this podcasting because originally our original goal for this show was it to be just like the title says, what's on my mind.
yeah.
That's it. I didn't want to give it a label.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to label it. Well, we're going to talk about a Christian thing because one week I might want to talk about, why something church or why God, and then the next week I might just want to talk about some random crap that
exactly.
has nothing to do with God.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be able to have that freedom to do that. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad. I'm happy we went the route that we went and the format that it's taken. It's been working and it's been fun and it's been great. Yeah. But originally, that wasn't the plan. If you listen to our first show, which I don't advise you doing because it sucks, but
I told you, remember?
Yeah.
I said it popped up on its own. And started playing. I was like, let's roll with it.
Yeah.
It was
Wow.
But the original,
I'm sorry. I'm gonna turn that off.
It's a learning curve. That's how it, if you look at that and look how far it's come.
We've grown
for sure.
immensely.
Honestly, the content of the show or the subject matter of the show, I didn't mind. It was the way I came off on the show because
Radio DJ.
I came out like I was back in my early 2000s when I was working in the radio. That's how I was coming off, and I like it now that I've gotten comfortable. I'm just me, That was the only thing I didn't really like about it. But that whole concept of just kind of being about anything, that's what I originally wanted. Unfortunately, when you're trying to get to like Apple Podcasts, for example, and stuff like that, they ask you that question like, "Oh, is there going to be cussing?"
Yeah.
And you can't just be like, "Well, there might not be," because then they want to label it.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is that they always want to label these things. They want to put you in a category, and it's like, come on, man. So if you
the one
But
thing
that's what people look for.
The one thing that's challenging about doing a podcast, we're on 145 different platforms all across the country and international. Hardest thing about it is dealing with the label.
yeah,
No matter what I've listed us in some categories, we're listed as Christian. Some categories we're listed as not Christian. Some are listed as talk radio. Some are listed as just whatever. But you realize we get the listening audience we get because of the stupid label.
yeah,
Because people search I wonder what's new on the talk radio today.
Yeah.
And they find us. And this
Exactly.
was.
That's how you search. Like, oh, I'm in the mood to listen to. I want to listen to a Christian podcast. Or I
Yeah.
want to listen to something that talks about music. Like that's how you search. You know?
God help them if they look for a Christian podcast and it's the episode where Michelle Haggerty's cussing like a sailor.
Well, you know what? One of the reasons why I said, hey, I'm going to start a podcast was because, you know, my marketing background is mostly digital
Right.
marketing.
Right.
So search engine optimization was like huge for me. So I was just like, dude, like I'm going to do this and run with it.
Right.
So my thing is I know that people are more attracted to video right now. And because of COVID conditions and stuff, they want to sit on the couch and watch a video.
Right.
So I moved my podcast more to video than everything else and utilizing YouTube.
Yeah, you know, that would have been good information to have before I got there so I could have dressed a little better.
You wear a cowboy shirt. People picked on you because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for that, by the way.
Go Cowboys.
Dude, I'm a Texans fan. Nobody's at the.
Ooh.
Nobody's lower than us right now. So
Yeah, how bad you have to be when your own quarterback don't want you to play for you anymore.
I am so ready to jump off the wagon. I just don't think I can jump on the Cowboy wagon.
Come on. We welcome you on our side. Come to our side of the family. Come to this side of the table.
But
The boys are back in town.
But the podcast, so everything that I knew, I was just like, man, like, you know, the other cool thing is that getting us on all the platforms that we got on, we started with 2, and then after I released ours, like it jumped on. I think we're on close to 80 different platforms right now, and I didn't do any of it.
Right.
So I was just like, whoa, what the heck just happened here?
Yeah.
You know, I just got a bunch of emails from my host saying, hey, this place picked you up, this place picked you up, and when I started thinking about it, I really think that the content and the search engine optimization that I really invested in kind of helped that.
Right.
And that's really why I'm doing it, because it's just really something where I can put all of my skill sets into one thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
yeah.
I never would have thought just having a conversation with somebody would be so enjoyable, but it really is. It turns out to be, and the fun part for me now doing podcasts is when I'm getting guests, especially guests that I don't know very well or have come on, and trying to find a way to get a rise out of them. Because let's be honest, controversy creates cash, right? Controversy
I said
creates.
flick the bean on the show.
Exactly.
It went viral.
Exactly. So when we would have guests, you know, there's one I'm thinking of in particular. I won't say their name because I don't want to put them on blast or anything like that. But we had them last year, and they were giving us nothing. You know, you have interviews sometimes, and the
Dead
person they're not giving you anything.
Was that Michael Linder?
Coming from Micah.
Actually, no, it wasn't. But that's funny. No, they weren't just nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there
That
was
was a good show, by the way. I
Yeah.
listened to that one.
there was a comment made in the discussion, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna harp on that comment and kind of bring something else back. And again, I'm trying to keep from saying it to put anybody on blast, but
I want me to pause it real quick so you can say their name. And
no. It's all good. It's all good. But when I
Let's sing the
finally,
next break.
I really want to know.
yeah, I'll let you know afterwards. But when I asked the question that I asked, will tell you the look on the person's face when I said the question was priceless.
It's like he was going to kill him.
Yeah,
He
it
went
was.
to jump across the table.
Yeah, it
I'm
was.
trying to think, 'cause I've listened to almost every show.
It was interesting.
Listening, it's hard to tell.
Okay.
Being in the
Yeah.
room,
Yeah.
you can see the facial expression,
Yeah.
like this
Yeah.
mother. Literally, it was
Yeah.
like that.
So that to me has been kind of the most fun, you know, and that was kind of the reason. Like when Melissa first came onto the show, the first time we had her on, we got into talking a little bit about the political stuff.
The Saving Jackie show, right?
No. This was when John it was the New Year's show.
Oh
Yeah. And we got a little bit into the political stuff, not too much. And she had said something and had censored herself without realizing it.
Yeah.
It's nature, baby.
Yeah. And so afterwards, we had a break. I told her, I said, don't do that.
I've already done that a couple times in this last
Have you?
hour.
Yeah. And I told her, I said, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't censor yourself, because if it causes a discussion between us, even if it gets a little heated, that's going to be stuff for the listener to, you know what I mean? Where it's going to get more listeners. Because when Will and I started the podcast, we had one rule. And that was, if we get into any kind of a disagreement on the podcast, we can argue. That's fine.
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
argue. And we can get upset or whatever. But as soon as the podcast is over, it's done.
Yeah.
You know, we don't bring it back up. Now I know that's probably gonna be a little bit harder because of your husband and wife, right?
Yeah.
Because like you can say
Good
that.
luck with that.
Yeah, because you can. Because let's be real, you can say that, but then like later on you go to bed. So what did you mean when you said this?
Yeah. I think that, I mean, you could do that for the most part, but yeah, I mean, at least some of that is inevitable. Like,
True.
you're human. And I mean,
True.
and I've said this before, like, I'm okay with stating my opinion, but when it comes to political stuff, I don't do it. I see it as a waste of time. Absolutely.
You know, I had to learn that the hard way because, like, I'll just say it, like, I'm very libertarian leaning,
Right.
In my political views.
Yeah,
Like,
Sochi.
Yeah. So, I mean, I subscribe to the party. I'm planning on running here in the near future
Ooh.
As a libertarian. And when I talk to people about
Not for
that,
president.
dude, it's like talking to a wall.
Yep.
Because people are so set in their ways and Bloods versus Crips that
Yes.
I'm like,
Oh my God.
like,
Thank
give
you.
the Latin King some love over
Thank
there.
you.
know what I mean? Like, we're gold.
It's back and forth, and there is it's a wall. There is
Well,
absolutely no like listen to perspective. There's
Yes.
absolutely no well. Hey, what about that? No.
Nah, it's just like you're throwing up the wrong colors. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, dude, come on.
Yep.
Oh, good God, I hate that.
But you know what's even
This
more?
fool took it to the hood, homie.
Right, right.
It's what it
Took it
is.
to the street.
But what's even worse and what pissed me off today,
Yeah.
this morning, was I'm on Facebook and I told y'all, like, I'm not on Facebook very often
Right,
anymore,
right.
like maybe a couple minutes a day compared to the 4 hours a day that I used to be on.
Right.
But I get on there to hear that Trump is starting the Patriot Party and has all of this support. I'm like, dude, there is literally a conservative party, a Constitution Party.
Right.
There's a Libertarian Party. There's a Green Party. There's all these third parties.
Like, jump
but
on that.
You're so set on red versus blue that it's just, man. So that's where I'm like, nah, I'm done with politics.
Yeah, I ain't
Yep.
gonna lie. When I
Yep.
saw that Trump did that, I'm like, why don't you just like go libertarian?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I did
Because
think
you
that.
look at his platform, that's what he's creating. He's creating-
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Get
So
out
no,
of
I
here.
get you with that one.
Yeah.
I second that.
Yes, I'm not even gonna open my mouth.
It's garbage. Our politics, our politics in the U.S. are just are just
What?
garbage.
Colt.
Colt? I don't get it.
Nothing.
They're not gonna get it in.
Indianapolis?
Nope. Put me a cult.
Oh, a
That's-
cult.
That's
Yeah.
what political
My
parties
bad. I
create.
thought you were saying
Yeah.
cult.
And that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It creates a cult, and it's like it's basically what your reference was. It's a gang of today. You know.
Yeah.
and
No,
it is.
I'll be real.
It's a legalized gang.
when that's
Legalized games.
when that's
Exactly what it
when
is.
that stuff started coming to the surface, I'm not. I mean, I didn't say this to anybody. It was just to myself. But I started seeing that, and I started going, "Whoa, wait a second," because I'm not ashamed to say it. I voted for Trump, but it was because of his platform. I felt is what I believed in more.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. But then when I started seeing like he was gonna make his own party, and then all of a sudden all these people, and now all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, wait a second. Everybody's like Trump, 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 Trump,
Yeah.
Trump, and I'm like, hold on.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Back the truck up, man.
Yeah.
He lost, so let's just wait till 4 years comes and we'll see where we stand there, and then we'll vote whoever's, but y'all are like you said, cult. That's actually a
cult.
good
It's-
word.
it's
I'm just like,
legalized.
Exactly.
Lord.
Like backing him based on policy, fine. That's you know
Right.
that. But
Right.
when I started seeing like people just absolutely deifying him, and
creating a god.
That's a
yeah,
big word.
exactly. Yeah, but that's what they were doing, and just saying, oh, this is God's president. This is Jesus.
Yeah.
Do you think that he got to where he is being any more straight than granted, he's not a politician, but he's freaking
a businessman.
yeah, as a businessman, as a
shrewd
millionaire.
businessman.
Yep.
He is not an angel,
Right,
and
right.
the way that people were creating him out to be, that bothers me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just
And they will hear no different.
Nope. And I mean, so I became a libertarian. It's been 6 years now.
Ooh.
I voted or I supported. I didn't vote for Obama the first time because I was like, man, here's a dude that's different. Blah blah blah. I wanted some change. I hope change whatever
Right.
crap that he was selling. And then 4 years later, when it became diversive, everything started getting worse and worse and worse. I
Right.
was like, I can't support him, and Romney and all. But it's just like, dude, like this is a mess. Like it's
Right.
a mess. And then that's whenever I discovered the Libertarian Party, but I wasn't a Democrat, but I was more liberal minded, and then I joined the Republican Party, And then I was disgusted by both of them, and I said, yeah, like I'm out. So I even worked on a Republican. I worked for a Republican candidate.
Oh, wow.
He ran for Congress, won the general election, lost the primary. I mean, won the primary, lost the general, and I was responsible for that. And it was good, but seeing politics and where it all was going, it was just like, dude, this is straight.
It's a game.
garbage.
So why do you want to get in it?
Because we need change. We need,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to have it. So my concept is that if you put a third party into the picture,
Right.
there can never be a majority. Think about that.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
right now, everybody's freaking out because the Democrats have the House, they have the Senate, they have the presidency. Okay, you throw in a third party, you're almost never going to have a majority. Almost never.
Right.
That's
Because
true.
that third party
That's
exists.
true.
So, I mean, if people were to wrap their minds around that and say, hey, wow, like we can really fundamentally change our political system here in the U.S., like, then it would run. But right now, it's all like, oh, well, you got to vote for the lesser of two evils because that's what you got to do.
Yes.
So the other person doesn't win. It's
Right.
like, dude, get out of here with that nonsense.
Right.
That is straight BS.
And that's the way, with the whole back and forth with our stimulus. I mean, I've never seen it more clear how both sides, it's nothing but people chess.
Yeah.
It's about, okay, who am I going to pay off? What are we going to sneak, at the back end
How
of this
much
bill?
pork could I get into here?
Exactly. And that, it disgusts me,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
the problem is, I mean, it's great. That's a great concept and all, but can people handle that kind of change?
Yeah. And it's,
No, they can't.
they can't. They really
People
can't.
people
but
can't handle change. That's
it-
the issue.
Yeah.
It takes individuals on a local level to begin that change, right?
True.
Because if we were to change it all in one point, it would fall flat on its face.
For sure.
But like
Make a
New Hampshire
change.
is almost libertarian
Shimona.
right now, and nobody knows that.
Sorry. Come on.
Sorry, we got a little carried away there.
Copyright.
Are y'all not human? Did y'all not hear the word make a change and think,
I think Michael Jackson, seriously?
I didn't.
gonna be real good? Shimon.
Flag for copyright infringement.
It's less than 30 seconds.
Oh man. But yeah, so I mean, like politics. Hey, we got you talking about politics. That's good.
You did. But you know what?
Good
This
job.
was a discussion. It wasn't like.
Yeah. Because and then like that was one of the big reasons why I got off of Facebook.
Right. Oh, it got bad.
Because I was just so like done with it, like
Yes.
done with people worshiping red and blue, and and it
Welcome
just,
back, baby.
Yeah.
Making a comeback.
TikTok's better.
I'm on TikTok now. That's exactly what I did. I got on.
I can at
TikTok.
least laugh on TikTok.
Yes, exactly. I can look at somebody freaking build something out of a pallet. Be like, all right,
Recipes.
Or
Yeah,
people
yeah.
cosplaying Star Wars. I love that stuff. So
Puppies.
you're gonna run. What is it you're running for?
I'm still debating.
The
but,
border. No, I was
Texas House 117 is my district, so I'm really considering it running for Texas House.
Cool.
Yeah. So because it's just if we get one person that's different, then it will stimulate change. You know what I mean? So that's
True,
why-
but do you think the Texas House is going to have one change? They could just veto your change out. When the majority
no.
sways one direction.
So what happens is like it's like you drop a piece of ink into water, right? Or
Right.
drop the ink into water. Like, hey, that ink isn't gonna do nothing, but what it's gonna do eventually is turn the rest of the water that color, right? Obviously, that's not gonna happen in politics. Not everybody's gonna be libertarian, but what it's gonna do is it's gonna resemble that. Hey, like this can happen. This is okay, and this dude has some great ideas. Yeah, all the bills that I would put forward would probably get smashed, right? But the fact that they're in there, and then me being the PR marketing guy, I'm gonna run with that like crazy and be like, dude, like, look, this is what I got out there. Hurry up, this is what I got out there. Check it out. Look at what's happening. Everybody's gonna love it because it's like, hey, this is the average guy, putting forth something that's not backed by, this person or
Pfizer.
that person. Yeah, exactly.
Multi-conglomerate.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say that, libertarians, didn't have, they definitely gained traction in
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
I mean, there was definitely a shift there. And wasn't Joe Jorgensen the first libertarian candidate to be on ballots in all 50 states?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Even though
that's-
she only got like what, maybe 1-2%? Like it was really low.
1.7.
But
Yeah.
that's still significant.
Well, we
for
got
the
more the
party.
last time with what's his name, Aleppo guy. I can't even remember.
Oh, yeah.
No, but I mean the fact that it was she was on the ballot in all 50 states.
Yeah.
That's
huge,
significant.
but it took so much money and effort to do, and
True.
like, I don't really
Which it
agree.
does with anything, huh?
Yes, I don't really agree with the way the Libertarian Party did that.
Right.
If it was me personally, I would have put that money into a war chest. You know what I mean? Because you knew nobody was going to vote for Libertarian this go around.
Right.
You know, I mean, I vote off of principles. You know what I mean? So I'm going to vote Libertarian.
Right.
You know, as long as I believe in that person. If you bring me people that I don't believe in, then I'm not going to vote.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the type of person I am. I'm not just going to vote Bloods or Scripps.
Right.
Or, you know, yellow or whatever color's out there.
Right.
I'm going to vote my, you know, what I believe.
Yeah, but you have a point. I think most people vote from. I'm not saying all, but a lot of people don't vote for their convictions. They vote because my family's Republican.
Popularity.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
I'm a Democrat. I'm voting Democrat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the biggest thing this go around was so many people voted for Trump, and they used that he was pro-life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we both know a lot of people on Facebook that preach that and everything.
Right.
Yet his first years in office, he had the opportunity to really defund Planned Parenthood,
And he did.
and he funded that omnibus.
Yeah.
Man. You know, like that had funding for Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just like, you can say whatever you want, but your actions are going to be the reasons why I support or don't support you.
Right.
You know what I mean, him banning bump stocks on guns,
Right.
and then everybody calling him the best Second Amendment president. Come on, dude,
Yeah.
get out of here with that.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
But
it's-
people don't look at that.
no, they just look at it. Oh, he's Republican. He has an R after his name. I'm gonna vote for him because he's pro-life and he's pro-gun and he's pro-jobs and blah blah blah. You know what? The job side of it, like me being a business dude, he did do an incredible
job.
there. Incredible job there. You know,
Tax breaks for us business owners.
Yep,
and
and I've told so many people, like, if I was to vote for him just off of that, heck yeah, like that would be why I would vote for him.
Right.
However, you know, during his first run, you know, me being raised by a single mom and then hearing the stuff that came out of his mouth, that
Right.
enough was not, dude.
Right.
You know, and hearing you grab people from certain parts, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out.
So,
And that comes the problem from single platform voting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
so I got a question for you, Roger. We're talking politics now. I'm gonna have to ask this question.
Do it.
Have to ask this question. So, we had a gentleman on the show last year who got in trouble and got kicked off a show because of his talking about his beliefs.
Uh-huh.
You know who I'm talking about. So, well, we'll talk about it in the break then.
Okay.
So the question I'm going to ask you is, what if you lose sponsorships for your show, for your Sound for the Crown, because of what you're saying today?
Oh, I don't care. I wouldn't care at all. Because if I don't stand for what I believe, right? It's just like me, you know, being a Christian, right? If I don't stand for what I believe, then you know, what's the point of standing? You know what I mean? So if I say, hey, I'm not Republican and I don't support Republicans, hey, I'm not Democrat and I don't support Democrats, that I'm, you know, hey, I'm central minded, I'm libertarian, you know, I'm more business and fiscally conservative, and I wouldn't say I'm you know, liberal whatsoever, but
You just said it like 20 times.
no, I'm not. So libertarian and liberal are two totally different things.
I know.
Two totally different things. But and that's another big thing that is real hard to explain to people. It's like, oh, you're libertarian, you're that blue. No, dude, I'm not that blue party that you keep trying to put
Associate me
It's funny. Each party thinks that it's the other party that you're.
You know, and when I'm debating, like, I had to stop because it was just getting so frustrating. When I debate on Facebook, they're like, "Oh, you must be some libtard." I'm like, "No, I'm not, dude." And then there's those other ones, "Oh, you must be a Republic turd," and I'm like, "Dude."
Anytime anything like that is used in an argument, like you've lost me,
Yeah,
like you've
you're
lost
done.
all of your
Like,
credibility.
I
Like
I ain't even gonna.
Yeah,
I ain't
it's-
gonna mess
you're talking
with you
to a
anymore.
wall.
Yeah, dude. So I mean, it's difficult because, you know, a lot of people will look at that and like you were saying, could you lose sponsorship? Because could some people not want to support Sound for the Crown because of it? If you're really gonna not support, you know, ministry, or if you're not gonna support this or that because of a political view, then dude, that's shame on you, man. You
Yeah,
know,
we
that
also
is-
realize people do that.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, people
and they do. I
that,
mean, they do
though.
it every day, like all the time. You know, there are celebrities that an old tweet gets, you know, uncovered, and then
Yeah.
they lose. That's just how it is. It's either, I don't want to say, I don't know if political is the right word. You know, a business doesn't want to, you know, be seen associated with somebody who, you know, like dropped an N-bomb or, you know, said whatever, you know, so that looks bad on the business and they have to let it go. Or it's totally up to the business too if they absolutely just oppose that and they just don't want to fund it.
Yeah,
You know, but that's
Very true.
America.
Interesting
Very
talk. Marco.
And on that note, we're going to take one more break, and then we'll be back with our third segment. talk is getting good, so keep it
How
right
did we
here.
get on that?
I don't know. I don't
You
know.
wanted to talk politics?
Yeah.
Oh my
apparently.
God.
You wanted to
I begged.
We'll be right back. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Rob T, from What's on My Mind. Listen, we're about to start the podcast. Before we do, I just wanted to say a few words about our awesome sponsor, Metroflex Gym San Marcos. We've been pumping them like crazy on the show, and there's a reason for that. You see, it was a few years ago, it's probably about 5 or 6 years ago, I first stepped into Metroflex. I got to meet the owners, Daniel and Michelle Haggerty, and let me tell you something. Just them alone makes the very reason why I go to this gym. Back at that time, I was at my heaviest at 465 pounds. Yeah, pretty heavy, I know. Anyway, I walked into the gym. I talked to Daniel and told Daniel exactly what was going on with me at the time. I had some health issues and things like that. And he wasn't interested about, the money. He was interested more in me and my health. And I will never, ever forget that. So, it's for that reason alone that I still continue to go to Metroflex. This is about 6 years ago. Now, since then, I've had, fluctuations, of course, as we all do. But the one thing that I love is that these guys don't give up on me. They don't call me a quitter. They don't press me or anything, but they definitely motivate me. If you are looking for a gym that is going to look at you and care for you like family, I'm telling you, you've got to go to Metroflex Gym San Marcos. If you're in the San Marcos area, it could be Kyle, Buda, could be New Braunfels. You're not that far away. Metroflex Gym is really not that far away. Look, the address, it's really simple. It's 2101 Clovis Barker Road, San Marcos, Texas, 78666. That's Highway 123, like you're going to Seguin. It's not that far. Okay, look, if you want more information, look them up online, www.metroflexsanmarcos.com, or give them a call, 512-878-8575. Metroflex Gym. They care for you like family, but also it is the hardcore place to get back in shape. Don't forget, Metroflex Gym. Whoa. Oh, no way. Hey, Will.
Yo, what's
Get
up?
over here. Look at this.
What am I looking at?
I'm in Facebook right now. Look at these numbers.
Dude, what did you do?
Dude, look at these numbers now in Instagram.
What? How?
Yeah. They've gone up in just a couple of weeks.
How?
By listening to Enid Jones. That's right. So if you are wanting to start a business in 2020 and you wanted to grow on social media, then you know where you need to start? You need to contact Enid Jones, the Social Mermaid. She's a photographer and social media strategist. She will help give you a strategy to move forward in 2020 with a practical, realistic approach or growth. For testimonials, reviews, and more, you need to go find her on Facebook or Instagram. We listened to her, and in just a couple of weeks, man, our numbers are up. So if you go to Instagram, you can find her by pix.by.enid. That's pix.by.enid. And if you go on Facebook, just search Enid Jones Photography. She's not that hard to find. Go and search her today. Hey, are you a super fan of the What's on My Mind podcast? Are you ready to show it off? Well, now you can, because we've got official merchandise. You need a t-shirt so that your friends can know who you listen to? All you got to do is contact us, WOMMpodcast@gmail.com. We got shirts, we got cups, we got stickers, all for you. Contact us today. And we are back. We are doing our third and final segment. It is sponsored by Collector University. That's right, Collector University. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram. I don't think they have a Twitter. I need to tell Professor J to get on that Twitter.
You stood that game up.
Yeah, I need to get on that Twitter machine. Anyway, but you find all this stuff on eBay. That's where he does all his business. But if you're looking for that collectible, that one collectible that you just gotta have, just hook up with Collector University. They just might have it for you. And if not, he can probably get it for you. So you got to get in contact with Professor J. Like I said, Facebook, Instagram, just look them up. Collector University. Did I tell you? You were talking earlier about WCW, right? Did I tell you what my wife got me for Christmas?
Spandex?
No. No, God, no. No.
It was, you gotta say.
Yeah, no.
Definitely, we can post that. Definitely got to post that.
No. She got me a very rare Funko Pop of Wolfpack Sting.
Oh, that's cool.
And I didn't realize how rare it was until she had told me, and then Professor J, who we know is John Garcia, who heads up Collector University, he told me. And I was like, what?
And I actually consulted with him because I was going to get you something else, and I just kept going back to that pop. And finally, I was like, you know what? I'm going to text John, Professor J. And I took a picture of it, and he was the one that texted me back and goes, "Get it now!"
Oh, man, that's cool.
Yeah, 'cause
I never realized like how not only popular those are, but how valuable they are.
Yeah.
I didn't know either because, I mean, I thought that it was a lot, you know, but then come to find out, you know, I started looking at it when he was telling me what it was. And I was like, oh my God, this is going for like $200-$300 in some places.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
They make this like jumbo Pikachu one. And, you know, like me, I'm a big Pokemon fan. I was like, dude, I'm gonna buy one. And then I look and it was like $500. I was like, no, I'm not gonna buy one.
speaking of jumbo Pokemon, Pops, since we moved here, I just realized, where is my jumbo Boba Fett pop?
I don't know.
In the trash.
It better not be. No,
I'm sure it's probably still one of the many boxes we haven't unpacked yet.
yeah, it's probably one of those. But anyway,
It's like, I don't mess with your pops.
When we're done with the show, no, I wasn't questioning it in that
You
way.
were looking at me.
Well, yeah, because you share this house with me. I thought maybe you might have seen it. Anyway, when we're done with the show, I'll show it to you. I'll show you what I got. But anyway, yeah, so just all that to say, hook up with Collective University so you can get your stuff.
You know what's cool about them too is they just came on as a sponsor for Sound for the Crown.
Did they?
Ooh.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely support them.
Yeah, for sure. So Collective University.
Collective University can sponsor Sound for the Crown. It can sponsor anybody.
Yeah, right. Right. And of course, we are also sponsored, us here at What's on My Mind are sponsored by Blue Orchid Design.
Yeah.
Yay.
Of course, you hear the commercial. every
I gotta
now
ask
and
a question about. No, I'm just kidding, man.
then. So anyway,
So we need to ask is, can you make the logo? Can you redo the logo, making me like bigger than everybody else? No, just
Really?
kidding. No.
Really?
wow.
Well, I was just giving you that look like you said, kill
Can
me.
make his head bigger, maybe.
I did make your head pretty big already. So.
My hair's not bigger.
He's all looking at it.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Get
No.
the ruler. Yeah.
I'm so glad you were able to redo that logo, especially at such short notice. Melissa's head's bigger, actually.
Yeah, so she should be complaining.
My forehead.
Yeah, man, because it was funny. We had talked about, because we have a shirt that's available for anybody that wants, and we just have never gotten anybody saying they want a shirt. So Will started asking around, like, why wouldn't if you listen to the podcast, why wouldn't you want the shirt?
Yeah.
And then that's when we realized it's because nobody wants to wear a shirt with our two ugly faces on it.
I don't think that you told me that. And
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
Are people like still T-shirt people? Like I
don't
don't
know.
buy T-shirts.
See, that's the way I am. Like, I'm not a big merch guy anymore.
Right,
When I
right.
go, like, if I'm buying merch from a band at a concert, like, I'm not buying the shirt to wear it. I'm buying it to support them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
I think it'd be more better if we had maybe coffee cups or.
See, I would buy
something like
little
that.
things like that, like
Yeah.
coffee cups, maybe
Especially
stickers,
'cause
or
that's a trend right now. coffee
Yeah, I'm
cups.
still
Like,
waiting
I'm
for
on this
stickers to
coffee
come
cup
in.
thing.
yeah, face
Yes,
masks.
I do need to order some stickers. And
Still,
we need
I'm
to make
still
some
waiting for stickers to come in. Just saying.
Have not ordered stickers.
Stickermule.com, dude.
Yeah, because I don't really, unless they're going to like a big concert or something.
Right,
Like
right.
I don't know a lot of people that buy T-shirts.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the majority,
that's a good
majority
point.
of people expect T-shirts for free nowadays. Like, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna get a T-shirt from this event or something like that.
And of course, they're not cheap to make.
No.
so.
Yeah,
They're
no,
not.
they are not cheap. We pay a lot of money for those T-shirts.
Yeah.
You know, what I started doing is I started making my own. Remember?
Yeah.
Becoming Sons.
Yeah.
They're homemade. I made them my thing, so I ain't paying somebody $12 a shirt. I
Yeah.
remember back in the day, you can get a shirt made for $4.
Back
Yep.
in the day,
Yep.
for sure. And speaking of back in the day, this actually brings me to the subject I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah.
In this last little segment. So as we were talking earlier, we already know you are very much in the music scene. Being that you're in, dude, the other one's Recycle.
Come
No,
on.
I'm just kidding.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Actively killing our Earth as we
Roger
speak.
does not recycle.
No, I
Roger
need to
does
buy
not
I need to buy a
recycle.
sticker for
He should be a
that.
sticker.
have a
He should just
blue
know.
The blue bin is recycled.
Blue bins are more expensive, okay? I'm not paying $10 for a blue bin when I can get another black one for $4.
Well, a Sharpie is $2. Recycled.
You know how many Sharpies that is going to be?
For those of y'all that are wondering what just happened, Roger just threw his plastic water bottle in our trash instead of recycle.
He
But
doesn't recycle.
I was going to buy a recycle sticker to put on that bin. I just haven't done it yet.
there you go.
I'm waiting till my next Amazon order.
Anyway,
Maybe Blue Orchid Design can design a recycle sticker.
I'll Put your face on it, right?
I'm just asking. Just asking.
Just put
you
a
know
big
what I'm saying?
angry like face, and, like
mad
yelling,
face.
"Recycle!"
So back to my question. So like I said, you're in the music scene and stuff. I remember back in the early days of Judge Nod, probably right around the time you heard us the first time, the Christian music scene, Christian rock music scene in the area, it was bumping.
Yeah.
It was really bumping. And then years later, something just happened where we went from a community of people that we were supporting each other. You know, it was not uncommon to go to a show, local show in the San Antonio area, and you would see, you know, Judge Not, Axiom, Naos Project, all these bands, because it was like we kind of became this community. And it wasn't necessarily that we were booking shows specifically with those bands. It was just like, hey, dude, we're playing over here. You want to be on the bill and stuff like that. And then, like I said, as the years passed, that changed. And it almost like, to be blunt, like the scene kind of died. Yeah. I started a metal band that, technically was Christian because our music was about God, but we didn't advertise it as such. Yeah. And I remember being in the scene at that point. We're talking about 2007, right around there. Much different scene. San Antonio's always been a very heavy, hard rock, metal type scene. And when we were my band Godspoke at that time, you didn't really hear much about Christian rock at all.
Nope.
However, it seems to be changing. And granted, I'm not in it deep, at least not as deep as you, in my opinion, I think. But from what I see now, I see a resurgence coming. A big part of it is because some of these local bands are signing deals and things are starting to happen for them. Relent is a great example. But I got to say, I think you are playing a big part of that resurgence, in my opinion. You've kind of, it seems to me like you've kind of stirred the water a little bit. Is that something you meant to do, or is this just kind of happen on accident?
So when we started the Catalyst, our idea was to kind of revive the Catacombs, right? And that's
well, I remember early talks that people were saying you were taking the name off of the Catacombs.
No, not at all. The Catalyst was like, hey, we're gonna bring you music, that is a catalyst. That's hopefully, no. That's just some of the talk I heard. Yeah, but
that's how it be.
There's always haters out there.
Yeah,
I'm used to it. But what I really started to see was exactly what you were saying. There was a void, right? And me being business minded, and I don't want to say that I'm business minded first, but it's just the way my brain works. Right?
Yeah.
When you see supply and demand, in action. So hey, there's a demand now for Christian music.
Right.
It's starting to blow up. And I give props to like bands like Lecrae, Toby Mac, and all of them that are keeping it fresh and everything.
Right.
But where do these old school rockers go? Where do these people that don't listen to that hip hop and all of that, where do they go? And at the Catalyst, we were struggling to get support, and it was a constant struggle. And I started saying like, hey, what can I do as an individual to boost this? Right. Because I mean that's what can I do? So that's really where I started saying like, hey, you know what? I just got to make it happen. Like you just got to book shows, you just got to book tours and start a festival. Like we just got to do it all on our own. Yeah. Because nobody else is going to do it for us. Everybody's waiting for somebody to happen.
Right.
I need to be that person that I'm waiting for.
Right.
And that's really why I started, pushing forward. And we did Sound for the Crown. When I started that initially, in my mind it was a festival to begin with. But my thing is how do I make that happen? Like I didn't have the connections yet. I wasn't networked yet. I knew it was a long process.
Yeah, I remember you saying it at the very beginning.
Yeah. Dude. So I started thinking about it, and then I said, well, you know what? Let's make it a tour. We'll get a bunch of bands together and do it. We attempted that. Well, like me and you've had this discussion so many times, is we were rejected by churches at such a high level. And it's really what kind of shook my faith a little bit. I'm fine now, but it was crazy. But that's kind of where I said, hey, you know what? Like we need individuals that are going to be responsible for the growth of music. Like we need somebody who's going to revive it and everything.
Right.
And when I saw that the churches wouldn't support it and everything, that's whenever I said, hey, let's go to some of these clubs, these nightclubs. Let's go to people like the Poteet Music Pavilion that have an outdoor stage and see if they'll lend it to us so we can use it. Fitzgerald's Bar is letting us use their stage almost whenever we want.
Right.
It's like, all right, there's these people that are willing to help me. Now let's bring it all together and make it happen.
Yeah, and
awesome.
see, and that's funny you say that. There was this misconception. There's always been this misconception, right? Especially being in the Christian world, that the secular world hates us.
No, not at all.
And I found out in our Godspell days that just wasn't true.
True.
Because before I started Godspell, God very loudly and clearly was telling me to start that band. I was scared because I'm like, dude, the images of that old movie of the Blues Brothers kept coming in my head.
Yeah.
I thought we go and sing about Jesus on a stage in a bar, we're gonna get bottles thrown at us. That was the misconception I had. It wasn't until we got in there that I realized they are more accepting than Christians.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
crazy. dude.
And-
Because it suits their life.
And-
It's what they used to.
Yeah, and I know this is gonna sound bad, and Will, you may get hate bill for this one. I'm just letting you know now. But when it comes to this, bro, especially now that there's this resurgence, I say screw the churches, man.
It is what it is.
You know what I mean?
man.
To heck with the churches. Because let's be real, that's not where we're supposed to be anyway.
So here's
with
my
this
question
music.
to everybody here in this room. Everybody, all questions. So you say screw the church because of the non-willing to modify, change, and accept the opportunities this place perform with music growth. So here's my question. What happens if the church walks out and follows the movement better? Acquire the Fire started this way.
Mm.
They created,
Exactly. Yep.
He created a movement
Right.
to get the people to stop listening to secular music. So we need a new Acquire the Fire.
Yes.
Because the movement today, look, you can talk to anybody in our age groups.
Mm.
Ask them, hey, you remember Acquire the Fire? Everybody knows who it is.
Yep.
Yeah, of course.
Ron Luce.
Right.
Anybody now? You have no idea who it is.
Yeah.
And let me tell you this right now. I don't mean to interrupt you, but
Go ahead.
Acquire the Fire is exactly what I'm mirroring with Sound for the Crown.
I tried doing
Awesome.
that too back in the day.
Yeah.
I booked shows all across this country,
Yep.
but there's so many legal stuff behind
Yeah,
that.
it's crazy.
It's hard. And
Yep.
Ron looked at me. That's why he stopped it.
And then he got accused of a bunch of stuff. That
Yeah, let's leave that off the air.
But
No, but the question is though, I mean, how do you, the musician, because I'm not a musician anymore, I'm retired.
Yeah.
How do you empower the movement?
well, I mean,
Yeah, I went there.
yeah, huh?
Had to throw that
Get-
hard question at everybody.
Partnering up with this guy.
Well, the biggest
You know.
challenge that I'm faced with, and this sucks, man, is so many people can't separate business and ministry as bands.
That's a good point.
Because
That's a
like
good point.
when I have an opportunity to bring forth a show where, man, I'm like, hey, there's gonna be a lot of people here, and I ask bands for support, the first thing they say is, hey, how much am I making? You know what I mean? And I understand that's a huge part of it, but at the same time,
It's not the only part.
yeah, it's not the only part. And hey, what can we do together to fulfill your financial needs, but at the same time fulfill the ministry purpose?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the biggest difficulty right now, because there's so many bands that Sound for the Crown we had the opportunity to really work with, and then their prices were just
Astronomical.
extreme.
Mhm.
I mean, we had a small band that, I mean, they're not small, they're moderately, moderate band, but dude, they were charging more than, I would say, freaking Metallica.
Wow.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That was pretty pricey.
No, 6 figures, dude. They were asking 6 figures, and I'm like,
Wow.
like, come on, man, like, you're
That wasn't
not-
Striper, was it?
No. I mean, we've had that discussion.
Yeah.
But it's just like, come on, dude. Like, you're not gonna bring in 100,000 people,
Right.
Anymore.
And then especially with COVID, like when I
Yeah.
approached them, like, hey, COVID is happening. Like, I want you to keep this in mind and everything. It's just like, dude, like, are y'all ministry or are y'all business? I mean, like, let
Right.
me know that now.
Right.
Because if you're a straight up business, I don't want to work with you. You know
Right.
what I mean? So,
Right.
Oh,
and
okay.
I did say that, and I'm pretty sure I lost that connection.
Pull the cord, but don't show.
Yeah. No, but I mean, you're definitely right about that. When I put together an event in Del Rio called Chacho Fest. This
Yeah.
was a few years ago. And there was one thing, and it's funny, I learned this by accident because it wasn't my goal. The whole goal when I did Chacho Fest was I was trying to honor an old brother, an old friend of
Yeah.
ours, right? And the thing I loved about Chacho was that he was very diverse when it came to music, right? He became a Christian being in our band. we didn't force the gospel on him, but being a part of our band, he just saw.
Was that Judge John?
No,
Gospel.
it was my band Godspell.
Godspell, okay.
Yeah, being in the band, he was our drummer. Just seeing how God moved, because he at the time he also lived with Melissa and I, so he saw God move in our marriage. He saw God do some awesome things. It moved his heart that he on his own accepted Christ as a savior, right? Well, he was very diverse in music. This dude, his history was metal, dude. He played in a black metal band. He played in a band called Muerte Villa. That they were black metal. They were signed to a label. He had moderate success with that. Big Pantera fan. I mean, we're talking metal, like hardcore, right? But then the dude loved Kelly Clarkson. You know what I'm saying?
I love Selena y Los Dinos.
Yeah. And that's the same thing with him. He loved Tejano music. I'd go and pick him up in Del Rio, and we'd drive back, and our music selection was always different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So his stuff was very, very different. So when I did the festival, I wanted it to have the same vibe, that spirit that he had. So I wanted not just metal bands. I wanted rock. I wanted, if I could find it, Spanish or blues. I was as close to having Del Castillo play it.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? And they're completely Latin and different. You know what I mean? So that was my goal, is I was trying to find different, genres to come together just for this festival. That was my goal. We accomplished it to a certain extent. We did mostly have a lot of hard rock and metal bands, but still we had punk. We had a kind of a pop punk band that opened up and stuff like that, and hard rock. But then there were secular and Christian going on that day, because he did like Christian music. He played worship music. He liked worship music, but he also liked, the secular stuff. So my goal was to kind of keep to that spirit. Well, by accident, I learned that, holy crap, when you do that, people come because they want to hear the music. And now I have this opportunity to minister to people that weren't necessarily there to hear my band, but because it's a part of the show, they're going to get the gospel. Yeah. So, but then I saw it on both ends, right? Because then, not going to name names or anything like that, but then on the other end, Christians that were some, Christian or Christians, we'll just leave it at that were there, bro, hated the death metal bands, talked mad crap about it. And, if I would have known this band was going to be playing here and that was the kind of music, I don't even think I would have done this show and this and that. Man. And it's like, really? I mean, for real? Yeah. I mean, we're supposed to love as Christ loves, right? And that's everybody. I'm not a black metal fan. I won't listen to it on a ride to work or anything like that. But if I'm playing at a show, I'm going to support whoever's there, even if I'm not a fan of the music, right? Yeah, exactly. Because that's what it's supposed to be about. Yeah. So, yeah, man, in my opinion, I think, I see this resurgence happening in the scene. What I think this time is as a scene, and this is just me, my opinion, but I don't think we need to be looking at churches to push, and for support and to push. We need to be playing bars. We need to play places like Fitzgerald's and places
it's
like
interesting.
that.
Back in early 2000, I was booking tours and everything for everybody. I ended up getting kicked out of churches because our music wasn't church appropriate.
Yeah.
And you ever been on stage with a band, or been on stage with a rap group? That first beat drop past your son, like, what did I just sign myself up to?
We saw that in Corpus.
Yeah.
And
he ended up liking it, which was cool.
Yeah.
Well, no, we were kicked out of several churches in the city.
Yeah.
They just pulled the volume on the board back and say, it's just like, the heck?
Yeah.
We told you. I gave you a seat. Did you not listen to the CD?
Yeah.
So did you not hear what we're bringing in?
Yeah.
That's on you, bro.
Yeah. So, I mean, I really think that's going to definitely be key. And the other on the other side of it, though, the Christian bands that are going to be in this scene, they need to have that love that Christ has.
Well, the biggest thing with the bands now, and I mean, I've been talking. I'm probably in the hundreds of different bands that I'm talking to.
Yeah.
And one of the common things that I see in the misconception is they think that they're going to get rich off of making music.
Well, they're in this for the wrong reason, then.
Right off of the bat, dude. Like, that is, no, dude.
No.
That's not how it works.
That's the wrong mindset.
No.
Number one, if you're a Christian band, you're doing it for the love of God, right?
Right.
And number two, you're doing it because of your love for music.
Right.
Those are the two things.
Right.
Now, if you're trying to get rich, off of making your music, like, in today's day of age, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen anymore.
No.
Could you make a living off of it? Maybe. But
And even then, you have to
yeah,
hustle.
you gotta hustle. You gotta be recording all the time. You know, my favorite band is Emery, and as of recently, they've been dropping music every 3 months,
Wow.
just because that's the only way they can continue making a living.
Yeah.
Because you know the streams. Like
Yeah.
you pay for the streams.
Yeah.
And-
Dude, Relent, they're friends of ours, and,
Yeah.
and they're starting to blow up.
Yeah.
Freaking, they still have jobs.
Yeah, they got full time.
Miggy's
Yeah.
making pizzas.
Yeah,
right?
Miggy's making
Yeah.
pizzas.
Well, not this week. He's in Houston.
Yeah, I know
But
that.
still,
But
yeah.
They're recording the album.
You know,
Yeah.
I think
it's not a living.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
Not yet.
Gaston posted how he was on vacation
Yeah.
to go and
To
do
go,
the
yeah.
record the album. So yeah, I agree. If you're getting into Christian music because you're trying to be famous or you're getting in it for the wrong
Yeah,
reason.
so like I'm trying to sign some people to the management label that I'm starting to do, and I'm starting to really considering just killing that, because so many people are like, well, how much money do you think we can make, or
Wow.
can I see the contract and
Yeah.
see what the guarantee is going to be, and all. I'm like, dude, why are you worried about that? Like,
Right.
like
That's
I'm trying to sign you so we can like make a difference. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I can help you get into more places and blah blah blah. Oh, well, I want to see the contract and see how much you're taking here and taking there and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I understand that. I mean,
There's a business side
yeah,
to
there's
it.
a business
But you have
side
to
to it.
realize, too, is that I learned this a long time ago, brother. A long time ago. Is no matter what you do, no matter how you say it, when it comes to a contract,
Yep.
people care about how I get paid.
Yep.
They
That's all they care about.
automatically come to that mindset that, hey, you're going to make me sign a contract? Are you going to do a 5-record deal, 2-record
Yeah.
deal, 4x2, 3x1, whatever the case may be? What's my cut? How much am I going to make? How much are you making off me? And,
Yeah.
and that's only because people have been screwed over.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate to the industry, but
And I got.
and it affects our Christian walk. It gets affected to our Christian walk.
I wish
Yeah.
I could talk about it, but I can't.
We can talk about it later.
I
I'll
got an
get you that money.
NDA.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, so I think I'm really happy about the scene coming back up for
Yeah.
sure. I really am. I'm really excited about it. I just think this go around, we don't really need to look to churches for the support.
And that was one thing I was gonna mention when you said that. So like, right now that I'm booking and I'm doing a lot of stuff for a few different bands, I'm not even looking at the churches anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
before I was flooding youth pastors with, you know, emails and stuff like that. Hey, we want to come play a free show and everything. And they wouldn't even take it for free, right?
Wow.
And right now, I just, like this morning, I reached out to 3 different places because I'm planning another tour for the summer.
Right.
And they're bars, and one's a coffee shop and stuff like that, and they got a big stage there and everything. And they're saying, well, I mean, we'd love to pay you. And I'm like, well, dang, man. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And I'm advertising it as a Christian event.
Right.
And they're saying yes to it, and not only that, they want to give us money for it.
Wow.
And it's just like, dude, like these secular venues and secular places are way more accepting to
Yeah.
what we're
You know
trying
why?
to do.
Yeah.
You know why, right?
Why?
Because you show up and people hear the live music, and then people show up.
Yeah.
Who cares if it's the music, whatever the
Yeah.
music is? They want the eye and the ear grabber, you know what I'm saying, that pulls people in the door.
Yeah.
Because struggling all businesses are struggling right now because of
for
COVID.
sure.
Yeah.
Especially bars and restaurants and things
Yeah,
of that
for
nature.
sure.
So they're going to open that door like that in a heartbeat because
Yeah.
they're going to see opportunity to make increase my ticket sale or increase my bar tab or increase whatever.
Yeah.
That's when you can say, look, you cut my deal down to this, but give me this percentage of your bar, man.
Yeah, but the thing I noticed too, now granted this was a few years ago, but especially in San Antonio, is San Antonio has a respect for rock music, dude. Big time respect for rock
Yeah.
music. When we first played a few shows, it was cool, but after we played, I want to say a handful of shows, we started getting people calling us to play their venues,
Yeah.
to be on their bill. Hey, we heard about you guys, wondering if you can come home. I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked. And it was nowhere near the promotion stuff that we do today. This was back in the MySpace days. You know what I'm saying? And about knowing somebody and stuff like that. Back then, my goal was to get in the ear of Rob Chavez from Rob's Metalworks because I wanted to be on his show maybe and, you know what, get in the scene. And lo and behold, it happened. And, man, I was really impressed by the fact that nobody cared. They didn't really care that we did music about God. They just liked the fact that they could bang their head to it.
Yeah.
And you
Got a
know,
good beat.
yeah, it's got
they
a good
appreciated
beat.
the music.
They appreciated the music, and that to me was awesome. It was really awesome. The biggest, highest compliment we ever got was when somebody in the back of the crowd after a song said, effing Jesus or something like that.
Jesus effing rocks.
Yeah, Jesus effing rocks, and we were like, yeah, I'll take it. So yeah, man, I really think that what you're doing now, God is definitely using you to bring this back up, and man, I'm very optimistic about it for sure. Very optimistic. It's definitely lit a creative fire in me because I talked to you about this last time. I'm thinking about maybe branching out and trying some other stuff, you know. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, I'm really excited. So listen, we're coming to the closing part of the show. Dude, hit us with your stuff. How do people get a hold of you? How do they find you? Podcast. This is your opportunity to advertise yourself, man.
That would take forever to
We'll just get to the top 5, you know?
Top 5.
Well, let's definitely talk about your podcast because you have an episode coming out this week, right?
Yeah.
Comes after us.
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, Friday. So
I think we should move this one back to Friday.
The Average Dude podcast, you can catch us every Friday. I would highly recommend YouTube. We do video. I'm a videographer, so it's a almost professional level, which is awesome and it's fun. It's good to put a face to the voices, and that's kind of cool. I love it, man. But you can check that out. We just got a new website, and you can check us out at armyofdudes.com.
Nice. Nice.
That's that
I like
one.
that.
Blue Orchid Design Company. Man, a funny little backstory behind there is Blue Orchid actually started off as my wife's travel agency.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, it was called Blue Orchid. And we did that, and I owned the domain, and goorchid.com. And I looked at the valuation for it, and that URL was worth like $3,000.
Oh, wow.
I bought it for $14.
Wow.
So I was just like, dude, I got to keep it forever now and see if the value would go up. And so I decided to name the design company Blue Orchid Design Company after we shut that
That's
down.
smart.
Yeah, so that's why I did that. But yeah, you can go to goorchid.com.
Very nice. I'm looking at your Average Dude podcast right now.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It was fun. It was a good one. We do that, and then you can check me out on Udemy. I teach a course on freight movement in the transportation industry. I am highly educated in transportation. Been doing that a high percentage of my life, I would say. So yeah, I teach a course on there. You can catch that and learn something there. But yeah, that's basically it.
Just a side note on the Average Dude podcast, if you're looking for that on YouTube, make sure to keep an eye out for Roger's very pretty face. Look for the bearded dude with the glasses. I'm seeing there's a couple of Average Dude podcasts. So
We're not the one from Africa.
yes.
Yeah. There's one
Oh, is that what that? Yeah,
it's from
I'm seeing a
South
couple.
Africa.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
look for the bearded dude with the glasses.
We'll put up a picture of your logo and stuff when we advertise this on Facebook and everything else. But awesome. Like, anybody else got any other questions or anything? No?
Not much.
No?
Thanks for
Awesome.
coming to hang out with us.
Yeah, man. I'm really glad that you came by, that you got to see my house furnished completely now. Because I think last time you were here, I didn't have living room furniture.
When we did
Did I?
worship, I'll tell you.
Oh, with the worship. That's right. I forgot about that. So yeah, but no, I always love having you here. I can't wait for you and your family to come. We can barbecue one day. So
Yeah, we need to do that.
yeah, for sure. And now I know where you live. So next time I'm going to Uvalde, I'll stop by.
Dude, we're a straight shot from each other. Which is
Bro,
cool, dude.
that was crazy. I was driving to his house to do the podcast, and I'm like, "Am I going to Uvalde? What the heck's happening right now?" But yeah, it's pretty much on the way. Like if you were
Straight
to
out
take
there.
90 to Uvalde, he lives right out there.
And his address is.
Yeah. So anyway, but man, thank you so much for coming all this way and doing the show.
yes.
I was really looking forward to this. Just sit down and talk with you some more. We'll definitely have to have you come back on a future episode. Maybe we'll talk transportation. I don't know.
I'm so tired of that.
Yeah. No, man. Honestly, I probably will want to bring you back maybe right before Sound for the Crown, just
Yeah,
to
we'll
kind
do
of
that.
give it another little push. Dates for Sound for the Crown are.
March 5th and 6th.
And-
you know what? You can go check that out at ftkmg.com/SFTC.
And are there still tickets available?
Dude, so tickets are actually moving fast.
Nice.
Which, before, because of COVID, I was kind of like, oh man, tickets are moving slow.
Yeah.
And then I posted that video that
Yeah.
we were reducing it from $850 to $250.
Right.
And man, they started moving. So
Awesome.
Yeah, you definitely need to get the tickets.
So there is going to be a live show.
Yeah, there's gonna
People
be a
will
live
actually get to
show.
go see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good. We'll get to play in front of people this time.
And And what's cool about it, dude, is we got people coming from all over the world for
That's
it,
awesome.
Which is awesome. I don't know how they're gonna get here with COVID, but
Yeah.
yeah, we got people already bought tickets in different
Awesome.
countries. So.
Awesome. I can't wait for that. That's going to be great, man. That's going to be
Yeah.
great.
Imagine
Anyway,
that.
but awesome. So thank you guys so much again for coming. We start our new series next week, don't we?
Yeah, we do. I gotta talk to you about that too.
No, we're going to kind of do the whole couples thing again, but we're kind of going at a different. And actually, maybe I'll have you and your wife come. I don't know. We'll see. Because especially after hearing you guys' story a little bit.
Yeah.
But basically, what we want to do with this one is we want to talk to couples that have gone through extreme situations in their marriage, and
I
they're
broke a fish tank once.
Yeah.
So it's pretty-
really wow. That's pretty extreme. I was thinking more like addiction and stuff like that.
we,
Yeah, but for sure, and we're gonna take that route and hear stories of how they made it through and how that's kind of what we're looking for right now. So that's what we're gonna be targeting on. What was that?
I don't know what was that.
We're gonna be targeting on that next week, so we're really excited about that. It starts next week. Yeah. So, but anyway, thank you everyone for joining us on the What's on My Mind podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts. You can also find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast platform. Check out our official Facebook page at facebook.com/WOM Podcast. That's facebook.com/WOMM Podcast. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and email us at wompodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions or comments or hate mail or anything like that. If you want more information on our guests, for example, just send us an email and we'll connect you. Okay. So until next time, this has been Rob T.
Big whoop.
And Melissa.
And you've been listening to What's on My Mind.